Welcome to the From Oslo to Sovereignty Conference, the online conference here in the Arutz Sheva studios in Jerusalem with the Sovereignty Movement. Shalom to Nadia Matar and Yehudit Katzover, founders of the Sovereignty Movement.
Shalom, shalom, Yoni.
So first of all, explain to us the connection, really, that you are trying to emphasize here between Oslo 30 years ago to today, your vision of sovereignty.
30 years ago, they sold us a tragic plan that brought havoc and destruction on the state of Israel, claiming that if we give parts of our homeland to a terrorist and bring him in with his terrorist and turn him into the head of the local Arabs who live in the land of Israel, without asking the Arabs, by the way, and create this Palestinian Authority, that there will be peace. Very quickly, it blew up in our faces, literally, and people understood that giving parts away of Eretz Israel, of the land of Israel, will not bring peace, but exactly the opposite. And in fact, we already learned that on that famous or infamous Pesach, when there was a terrible terror attack in Netanya, and after which the Chomat Magen operation started, where the IDF finally returned to the cities in Judea and Samaria, and the people understood that when we are in control of the land of Israel, there is much more security. And the entire conception that the worst part of Oslo is not only that we shook the hands of a mass murderer, that we gave him an army, that we gave him parts of the land of Israel, but that we basically undermined the truth that this land belongs only to us.
Now you're saying today that despite all the things that you're talking about, and despite more than 1,000 people were killed or defined as the victims of peace, the conception is still out there? It's still even leading the state of Israel today, led by Likud governments?
The conception goes on because we continue to work with the terrorist Palestinian Authority. We continue to work with Mahmoud Abbas, who is a terrorist. We continue to think, even now that we discuss peace with other countries, we put the land of Israel on the discussion table and are willing to give away parts of the land of Israel. And that has to stop once and for all. And how do we... So many groups are making lectures and conferences about the terrible disasters of Oslo. But what we want to focus on is more on how do we correct it? How do we correct?
Many like to ask or respond from the left, okay, but you don't have any alternative. We at least tried to do something.
Exactly. And in 2000, when I had the privilege of meeting Yehudit Katzover in Gush Katif, and that's when we woke up to the understanding that what we thought before, that the very famous sentence that says the last meter of where you plow the land will be the border, that has blown up in our faces in Gush Katif. We found out that settlement is not enough. Within 6 days, they destroyed the entire Gush Katif area, and we understood that something else has to be done to safeguard Judea and Samaria. If we, who believe that Judea and Samaria is ours, and only ours, how do we safeguard it? And when we came back to Gush Etzion, Yehudit and I and our activists, and we saw that the Salam Fayyad plan was starting in 2005 already, of them taking over Area C with illegal Arab construction and planting, etc. And we at the beginning started fighting locally and battle here, a little hill there, and we were successful. A little hill there, an army base there. In 2011, Yehudit said rightfully, we're not going to save Judea and Samaria like that. We are like emptying the sea with a spoon. And if we want to save Judea and Samaria, we have to add, not instead, but in addition to the settlement effort, we have to also come with a plan, a political plan. For years, the right wing has been saying no. No to the two-state solution. No to giving them weapons. What is our yes? And as Yehudit said then, we have to create a movement that will promote what should have been done on the sixth day of the victory in 1967 and the Six-Day War, which wasn't done, the application of Israeli sovereignty, including all those areas within the borders of Israel to apply Israeli law, and that wasn't done. And that wasn't done. Not many people still don't know it. Judea, Samaria, the Jordan Valley. And we've been working on that for many years, as you know, and Arutz Sheva has been discussing what we've been doing, whether it's conferences and journals, etc., etc.
But lastly, you're talking about, at this point, is to begin from the Jordan Valley.
Exactly. When we understood that the concept of sovereignty entered the consciousness, people started saying, okay, so what's the tachlis? What's the, what should be done? And that's when we decided practically, let's start with the Jordan Valley first. It's not that we forgot about the entire vision from the seat over all of Eretz Israel, but we can start with the Jordan Valley first. Why? The Jordan Valley is 30% of Judea and Samaria, 90% or close to 90% of the lands of the Jordan Valley are state lands in Area C. There are very, very few Arabs, so there's no demographic problem. The Jordan Valley is the border of the country, so when you strengthen the border, finally, when we'll have sovereignty there, we'll be able to prevent the filtering in of infiltrators, the bringing in of weapons, and most importantly, if you already have sovereignty over the Jordan Valley, you prevent the creation of a Palestinian state. And lastly, over the Jordan Valley, there's a consensus. There's so much bickering now going on in this, with whatever is going on in Israel now. There's one thing that the Zionist left and the right wing all agree with, and that is the application of sovereignty, the importance of the application of sovereignty over the Jordan Valley first. There is a Knesset lobby that was set up with MK Dan Iluz and MK Yossi Taib at their head, and they're gathering people on the left and people on the right. We were all there at the forming of that Knesset lobby, and we saw there's something we agree on. Let's start with that, and let's finally once and for all say the land of Israel belongs to the people of Israel. We'll start with the Jordan Valley first. When there will be sovereignty, investors will be able to invest there. We'll bring another million Jews there. We will finally be able to move the population eastward and stop the density. As you know, that Gush Dan area is more densely populated than the Gaza Strip.
That also makes it very expensive.
Exactly. It will lower the cost of housing. And I don't know if you know, but in the year 2040, there is going to be some 15 million people west of the Jordan. Where are we going to live? If we're all going to be in Tel Aviv? No, we're going to live in the land of Israel that's going to be under Israeli sovereignty, and it's going to be good for the Jews and the Arabs alike. Let's liberate the Arabs from the Palestinian Authority and show the entire world that sovereignty over the land of Israel is something that is good for the Jews, the Arabs, and the entire world.
Now we're here as part of this online conference that you are holding from Oslo to Sovereignty. And tell us a few words about the movement itself. It's expanding, people are joining, many youth.
One of the accomplishments of the sovereignty movement is not only that many people are joining, but also the age of the people. We have an incredible group of sovereignty youth. And as you know, a movement has a future only when it has youth. And most importantly, those are youth who are committed, who understand that sovereignty is the answer to safeguard the land of Israel. We have thousands of them all around the country, and we call upon all of you, young people who are young from grade 8 till 120. We only have young people in our movement, whether they're in spirit or physically young, and we're calling upon everybody. That is the next Zionist challenge, the application of Israeli sovereignty. Yes, to settlement, of course, but in order to safeguard settlement enterprise and in order to safeguard all of the land of Israel, we must apply sovereignty. So we thank you, Arutz 7, for this cooperation in this very, very important conference, online conference, and we call upon Am Yisrael to join us.
Okay, Yehudit Katzover, Nadia Matar, thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you very much.